So I kept my career going really right until my 30s, but my health started to disintegrate.
If you're not able to play a certain piece or a certain instrument, we don't want to push you back into this box.
Today was like the big day for us. We were working out. We were working for months. We've been rehearsing since January through everything, to be honest with you guys.
And this will be an enormous challenge, this whole project. Music's always been a really important part of my life, but nothing in school really interested me until they brought the recorder into the room, and then I really excelled at it. Never bothered with the dots, not the music, that wasn't really interesting to me, but there was always a song in my heart. I was always a really cheerful person, and that really translated itself very quickly to music. So I mastered that really very quickly actually. I was about 5 or 6 when I was very good. I don't mean that in an arrogant way. It was the only thing I was any good at. So my dad said to me, "What is it that you would like to play, Charlotte?" And I said, "Well, I'd like to play that." And my fingers are really bendy, and I was pointing to the bassoon. For Christmas, this thing arrived in a black box, and I opened it up, it was a clarinet, and I thought, what's that? I was really woefully disappointed. It really wasn't the thing I wanted at all. But I daren't tell my nan who'd bought it for me.
Music is something I've done since I was 2 years old, really. My parents gave us all really instrumental lessons, and eventually I decided that it wasn't an annoyance anymore to practice it, and I decided I wanted to actually do this professionally. But I went for a very classical route. I studied at a conservatoire in Luxembourg before going to University of Manchester to study music, and I discovered composition in Manchester as well. But I was also always interested in the more technical side of music, and I had thought about going to study to be a sound engineer actually. But after studying in Manchester, I went to Edinburgh to study acoustics for a year as well. And then I ended up in Plymouth where I did a PhD to combine both these things, music and technology, and how to write music with and for technology. The lucky thing is that I met Charlotte here as well, who turned out to be a musician but had come from a very different background. So it's been very interesting sharing our knowledge and our stories, because we've really learnt in very different ways, and we've played very different concerts, and working with Charlotte has been an eye-opener, I think, for both of us, because our processes are just so totally different.
So I had a really interesting career, and then just continuously got invited to do things because I was a woman of a certain height, a certain look, and with a certain weight of instrument. You know, it looked quite commercially viable. So I kept my career going really right until my 30s, but my health started to disintegrate really in my mid-20s, and I ended up having my shoulder replaced in 2008. And I had 2 other shoulders after that very, very quickly, and it was discovered that I was really allergic to them. So in 2017, Christmas 2017, I ended up having my shoulder completely removed, which obviously totally changed my life. You know, I used to be resident at the Ritz at the Savoy. You know, a Saturday night for me would be worth £1,000. But I came to be unable to dress myself, put my makeup on, get on public transport. I lost my driving licence. My whole world changed really, you know, so I have no connection any longer between the elbow and the shoulder, so there's no anatomy here at all. It's just, I don't know if you can see that, but it's kind of endlessly manipulable. Manipulatable? What's the word? I don't know. Anyway, whatever that word is, I can do it to to some considerable degree. So although I've got a very dexterous hand, I can still move the hand. There's nothing that enables me to do that with my right arm. So if it's not in this brace, it's just swinging by my side. So my life is now very, very different. You know, I was used to earning a very considerable living from being able to play this and other instruments like it, but now I really struggle to just even get it out of the case. So this will be an enormous challenge, this whole project. This is my Bluetooth steering adaptation. Everything relating to the electrics on the car is now transferred to the thumb. So it's my windscreen wipers, it's my indicators, and it's my horn. Whoever designs these things for disabled people is inspiring in that there's no way I'd be able to drive a car, couldn't control it, I can't bring this hand up. I'd have to physically put it there, and it wouldn't be able to do anything when it was there. So just to be able to do everything through this one hand is quite incredible. And it inspired Nuria and I, when I gave her a lift home one night, to think, well, what is there in this that could be helpful to us in terms of helping me and other musicians like me who are disabled to get back to playing again? If everything can be done with this very, very small device of the thumb, then I just wondered, what might be possible.
There's already a lot of kind of exoskeleton systems out there. The thing with all of this type of assistive technology is it doesn't ever tend to be the case that you can just design something that works for everybody. It's all about the individual and what their movements are and what their capabilities are. So in this instance, we've sat and we've worked with Charlotte to develop, you know, a structure that fits her arm, that supports it in the way that it needs to be supported, but also can allow us to move the arm in a way that's conducive to the type of interface she's playing, which in this case is a saxophone. So it's all about kind of finding out what the individual needs and then creating a piece of technology that creates a supporting mechanism for that. There's always been a strong research culture in the Interdisciplinary Centre for Computer Music Research around kind of assistive technology, but it mainly came out of conversations with Nuria. She was developing this project, and I was interested from a technical standpoint. There's some interesting technical challenges here in regards to how can you create interfaces for people who couldn't play conventional interfaces like a keyboard or things like that, and how can you allow them to express themselves in ways that's idiomatic for them as well. So there's some interesting technical challenges, I think.
Okay, so have you ever written a piece in PowerPoint? I have. So it starts with we're going to do. You start with the didgeridoo loops. I'm playing around with this motif. There's the 5 first samples.
The first 5 samples, did you say?
Yeah, in this part.
Right, let me get those ready then.
Every time she.
Are they the ones we did before?
No. So these are spoken.
These are spoken.
Oh, okay, great. Okay, got you.
So every time Harriet triggers a sample, we build.
Okay.
So I'll go upwards.
What we could do then is I'll trigger the first one after the 2 drones have come in, and then I'll use all the effects afterwards, and then you can change what you're doing at any point.
Okay,
as
great.
well.
So I'll start it off with a live piece of stuff.
Yeah.
The triggers where it's Charlotte recorded talking about pain. So cheerful stuff.
Hear that kind of unhappy relationship between the endings.
Welcome to Back to Music, and thank you for joining us on this journey. This concert's been a long time in the making. 2 years ago, I met Charlotte and we bonded over her former professional career as a saxophonist. She told me all about her injury and how she'd had to stop playing. So we decided that we were going to play together at some point on stage. Now, this concert was meant to happen in April and had to be cancelled. So, in a sense, this is a return back to music for all of us, and it'll be the first concert for Charlotte in 5 years. So, I hope you enjoyed this comeback and farewell concert, and most of all, that you enjoy the music.
For me, it felt very emotional to play songs that have either a personal connection or have some kind of symbolic meaning for people who are either in a dark place or recovering from something. So I struggle with my emotions, actually.
We couldn't have predicted how this was going to end up, and when we started the project, we were focusing on military disabled veterans, and we had a quite specific idea of what we thought the concert was going to be, and everything in the project's been different because the people we've met haven't been the ones we thought we would, and the results we've had, and also obviously the circumstances beyond ourselves just We could have never predicted them, but what's come out in its own way is absolutely amazing.
It's wonderful to have met these incredible young people, and their devotion has been extraordinary. I mean, they stopped being paid about 6 months ago, but they've been back in the room, you know, rehearsing, really refining the detail between themselves, nothing to do with me, I've been miles away. But it's just been so wonderful to see the difference in their musical understanding of one another, and that's what it is to be a musician. It's that dynamic listening, that sensing without seeing, just knowing when that downbeat comes and everyone's on it. It's a really exciting thing. We didn't have that back in April, so COVID's done us a favour in many respects, because I don't think it could have been this tight a band really back in the day. But they've certainly got a lot braver, and it's been a wonderful thing for me to just be in the gang, I suppose. It's made me feel a lot younger than I really am, and it's made me feel validated again, I suppose. So in spite of all that I haven't got, I've got so much. And today's been such an amazing event, I'm going to start crying now. It's always the way. Oh.
Birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me, and I'm feeling good. Fish in the sea, you know how it feels. River running free, you know how I feel. I'm in the train, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me, and I'm feeling good. Dragonfly out in the sun, you know what I mean, don't you? Butterflies out having fun, you know what I mean. Sleep in peace when day is done, that's what I mean. And this old world is a new world, and a bold world for me. When you shine